President-elect Trump issuing a warning that the U.S. could demand the Panama Canal be returned to the U.S. from that country. In a Truth Social post overnight, Mr. Trump blasted how the canal has been managed since it was given to the Central American country in 1999. He highlighted the lack of reliable operation, high charges for U.S. ships using the canal, and concerns if the canal ever fell, quote, into the wrong hands. Here with us is Brett Bruin, former Director of Global Engagement for President Obama. Brett, great to see you again. Good morning.
Good to be with you, Hannah.
First, I want to hear your reaction when you woke up this morning, saw the headline, and help us understand why Panama matters in the big scheme of things currently.
Yeah, let me just, for the audience's benefit, say in very simple terms, what Trump is proposing to do is to recolonize the Panama Canal. This is land that the U.S. took from Panama, and then we signed a treaty, and we said we would give it back to Panama after 100 years, and we did. There is no going back on that. And so what Trump is proposing, quite frankly, is both illegal, it's also immoral, and it's just not good diplomacy. So I think, while this may have been a late night inspiration, just like buying Greenland was during his last presidency, I think saner minds need to prevail here.
Well, Trump has expressed concern over China's influence on the canal. We had a panelist in the last block saying China is investing in many parts of the world, not just Panama. So why the political implications here? Why take it to this step by our president-elect?
Oh, there's no question. And China is investing heavily in Latin America, and we've been ignoring it. They just, in fact, opened a new port in Peru that took place just in the last couple of months. They have heavy investments across Central and South America. It's important, I think, for the U.S. to engage with investment, engage diplomatically. But, these threats are not going to get us anywhere. And let's not forget here, a lot of the leaders from Mexico on downwards are leftward leaning or on the extreme left. So, Trump's threats will only play into the hands of those leaders. I served in Venezuela with Hugo Chavez at the U.S. Embassy, and I can tell you this is just fodder for those kind of leaders to attack the U.S.
Is it even possible?
No, is the short answer. Short of Trump sending the U.S. military in, this is Panamanian property, land, territory. And we've seen, obviously, what's happened in the case of Ukraine. You can't simply retake land, even if you claim to have some historic tie to it, or if you believe that it's poorly being managed. In Trump's case, there are negotiations, and we can certainly engage with the Panamanians and with others to talk about what could be improved on operations or how the U.S. could play a greater role. But we are not back in the 1600s. You cannot simply decide that some other country's territory will now be yours.
I really appreciate the context there. Thank you so much. Let's move on to that U.S. guided cruiser mistakenly shooting down, a F-18 fighter jet with 2 pilots on board over the Red Sea. We should tell our viewers, miraculously, the pilot survived. They ejected from the plane. But talk to us about the significance of this mistake, Brett, and the pressure U.S. forces in this region face from multiple enemies surrounding them.
I think the last point is the critical one. There are so many threats, whether it's from the Houthis up on that map there in Yemen, or obviously from Hamas, what remains of Hezbollah, let alone in East Africa. There are lots of extremist groups in Somalia. Sudan now is fighting a civil war. So if you are a Navy sailor traveling through the Red Sea, you obviously are on heightened alert. And, this was clearly some kind of miscommunication. Radar picked something up and was not properly identified. And these things obviously will be studied, lessons will be learned. But I think it does speak to the heightened state of concern that U.S. military forces have in the region.
And will continue to have moving forward. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.